Okay, so now what I want to review with you, we've already talked about so, mi, and la, right? We're going to look at our music street again, and we know mi is in lot number 3, and so is in lot number 5, and la is in lot number 6. And we've already talked about how for mi to get to so's house, they have to skip over lot 4. And the same thing, for so to get to mi's house, they have to skip over lot 4. They are a skip apart. Mi is always lower than so. We also talked about how so and la are always a step apart. They only have to step either so to lot 6 or la to lot 5 in order to visit each other. Today we're going to add lo do, who is in lot number 1. And we've talked about this before as lo do being our mayor of Music Street, number 1, big boss. Okay? Let's look at the relationship between do, mi, so, and la. All right. Let me erase some of these lines so we can get them out of the way. Fix my lot 4. Now we've got lot 2 is empty, right? So let's take a look at this. You already know so and mi, they skip, right? Look at how far it would take for do to get to mi. Is that a step, a skip, or a leap? How far does do have to go? Is there anything do has to jump over in order to get to mi's house? There is. Do has to skip over lot 2 in order to visit mi, and mi has to skip over lot 2 in order to visit do. Do and mi are a skip apart, and you know mi and so are a skip apart. So here's what I like to, that'll become important to us when we start putting these on the staff. So just always remember, do to mi is a skip, mi to so is a skip, 1 to 3 is a skip, 3 to 5 is a skip. Let's look at the relationship between do and la. How many houses or lots would do have to go over in order to reach la's house? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be going over many different homes. And since it's more than 2, we know that this is going to be a relationship that's a leap. So it might not be easy for us to figure out on the staff do to la unless we know what comes in between. Let's look at what that means for us here. All right, I have got a series of patterns on the board, and I'm actually going to get rid of some of these. And we're going to look here. This little key is my do clef, and my do clef tells me where do lives, as do is the mayor or the boss of Music Street. I can put do clef on a line or a space, oops, and once I put do in its place, you can find everything else on the staff. Kind of like what we did with so, but now we're starting with our big boss. So I'm going to put my do key right here in the first space. Because remember, our spaces are numbered from bottom to top, just like our lines are numbered from low to high. Do, very first note. I'm going to put something here. I'm going to get rid of these and kind of choose some different places to put stuff. All right, so what do I do? How do I figure out which pitches I need to sing? Where's do, where's mi, where's so, la, everything, and so on and so forth. So I look at my do clef, here it is on the first space, and the first thing I'm going to do is figure out where my other do's are, or if there are any other do's in my song. So I look over, first space, oh, here's another do in the first space, oh, here's another do in the first space. Now I can start using what I know about the relationships between do, mi, do, mi, so, and la in order to figure out what comes next. On page. Okay. I look. I know that when my notes go from a space to a line, that is a step, and a line to a space is a step. So I know that my lines are like my for sale signs in between the spaces, my empty lots. I look at do, and I see that the next note is a skip above do. So I think back to that relationship that we talked about between do and mi. Which note on our lot is a skip away from do? Is it mi, so, or la? Mi, very good. So I can go back and I can see this is a skip above do. I know that this note is going to be mi. Now that I know that space 2 is mi, I can go through and look, do I have any other notes on space 2? Oh, I do, so this one must be mi as well. So now I've got do, mi, something I'm not sure, do, okay? What is this last note? To figure it out, again, it's all about those relationships. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can think about the relationship between mi on this space, putting the for sale sign here because we're not sure what goes on this line, right, for that lot, and then knowing that what comes next after that for sale sign is so. You can think about the relationship like this. You know that space to space is a skip, and you know that you've got mi, and you know mi to so is a skip. Or you can remember this handy dandy little phrase. When do is on a space, then mi is on a space, then so is on a space, they all are in their place. And you can do that counting up with the spaces. When do is on a space, then mi is on a space, then so is on a space. So I know now that so is in space number 3. And now I have all my pitches in my composition laid out, and I can read this. Do, mi, so, do. Look at that. I just sight read music I'd never seen before. And you can do it too. See you next time.